Hey y'all, I am back with my Venus and Virgo video. Now I know some of y'all have been waiting patiently for this video, and I know it took a while, but here it is. Now this video is for those who have Venus and Virgo. Now if you have Virgo on the 7th house or 2nd house cusp, some of what is said could apply to you as well. If your Venus is in aspect with a planet in Virgo, some of the themes mentioned in this video could also apply to you. Hell, even if you have Juno in Virgo, some of what is said could apply to you. So I have Juno in Virgo, and I can relate to some of what is in this video. So let's get started. Let me share my screen, pull up the video. All right, and if you're familiar with my Venus Through the Signs videos, you know that I like to start off each video with a quote. So this is by Bertrand Russell. He states, "Love can flourish only as long as it is free and spontaneous. It tends to be killed by the thought of duty. To say that it is your duty to love so-and-so is the surest way to cause you to hate him or her." Now, Venus is considered to be in the fall when in Virgo, and fall is not a good placement for a planet. So Virgo is that sign that can be fault-finding, nitpicky, and insecure. That's why Venus is not very happy in this sign. Also, the duty theme can mess up a relationship or can mess up the love that exists between two people. So duty is actually one of the key words that I chose for Venus and Virgo. So being a dutiful wife, that's very Venus and Virgo, or just having a sense of duty towards one another, that's very Venus and Virgo. But sometimes that whole duty theme can be taken too far and it can ruin the relationship. Another key word I have is humble. So Virgo is the sign of humbleness. And if you get too big of a head, if you allow your ego to get out of control, if you have Venus and Virgo, or if you have a partner, they could be humbled, you could be humbled. Also, you could find yourself in a relationship that is quite humbling. So humble is a key word. Dapper is another key word. So dapper meaning neat, trim, and smart. And I have noticed that Venus and Virgo individuals can be quite dapper in terms of their fashion sense. So for example, the dapper gentleman drew admiring glances from all over the ballroom. So being well-dressed, being sharp in terms of how you look in clothes and all that, that's very Venus and Virgo. Finding love in the workplace. So if you have Venus and Virgo, your future mate might be right at work or at the new job that you're going to take. So finding love in the office, meeting your mate at work, very Venus and Virgo. Also with Venus and Virgo, your partner will double as a helpmate. So help is a major theme of Virgo. So when you have Venus and Virgo, you could attract mates who are very helpful towards you. However, on the flip side, you could attract a mate that is often in need of your help, and that could get tiring after a while. Venus and Virgo people, they just love to help people in general, so they might gravitate towards the helping professions. Also, you could end up getting with a Mr. Clean if you have Venus and Virgo, or you could end up with a clean freak. You could attract a mate who expects you to be domesticated, to basically do the cleaning and the cooking and all that. And sometimes it's the man that's expected to be domesticated if the woman is the more dominant figure in the Venus and Virgo type of relationship. So having a house husband can be indicative of Venus and Virgo. Let's say you got Venus and Virgo in your 7th house. That could be, you got a partner that's quite domesticated. He doesn't mind being a stay-at-home husband and doing all the chores and all that stuff. Some of y'all will try to be the best dutiful wife you can be. So that term pick me, some of y'all might know what I'm talking about with that term pick me. Venus and Virgo can be a pick me in some cases, some of y'all. So trying to do everything you can to keep your partner happy, cooking, cleaning, doing his laundry, giving him massages, ironing his clothes, folding his clothes, all that stuff. So the dutiful wife, like I said, is very Venus and Virgo. Now, men with Venus and Virgo have a tendency to put women in categories like hoes versus housewives. And that whole saying, you can't turn a hoe into a housewife, must have came from a Venus and Virgo man. So they may put you in the hoe category if you give it up too easily. So you want to be a little careful with these Venus and Virgo type men. Now, Venus and Virgo people, some of them could be looking for the perfect partner, but you have to keep in mind that nobody is perfect. So you could be setting yourself up for a big letdown. Some Venus and Virgo people, especially the men, are into perfect bodies. So while you're all focused on the perfect body, the person's mind could be messed up. So sometimes, the physical ain't everything. Now, it must have been a Venus and Virgo man who came up with the rating system when it comes to women. So you know how some men will rate women from a 1 to a 10. So yeah, that's so Venus and Virgo. And why does it seem like it'd be a lot of the ugly men that be into this rating system? Insecurity is a major manifestation of Venus and Virgo, whether it is you that has Venus and Virgo, or you could have a partner who's the one that's insecure. Inconsistency really makes Venus and Virgo people insecure. So you got to be consistent if you're with a Venus and Virgo person. Venus and Virgo produces a need for a sensitive and attentive partner. They need a soft place to fall. Venus and Virgo people don't hide their emotions. So if they're feeling down, just try a little tenderness. They'll appreciate that. Venus and Virgo people need frequent check-ins in order to feel secure in a relationship. So if you're going to be late, you better let them know, or you're going to really hear it. Etiquette, or I should say relationship etiquette, is a big deal for Venus and Virgo. Being courteous and mindful is important when you're in a relationship. Venus and Virgo is about minding your manners. If you have Venus and Virgo in the 3rd house, you could have attended charm school or taken an etiquette class. Some Venus and Virgo people can be quite judgmental, and some of them can be rather intolerant when it comes to people's views that differ greatly from theirs, or if their lifestyle is very different from theirs, they can be quite intolerant, especially the religious ones. Some Venus and Virgo people can be downright prudish and preserving of their virginity as if it's a badge of honor. Now, some men with Venus and Virgo could be attracted to virgins or young maidens. That term hard bodies that men used to use in the 80s, that sounds like very Venus and Virgo to me. I always used to understand, why would you want a woman with a hard body? But oh well. Venus and Virgo people usually don't have any problem telling you what they don't want. They make their preferences very clear. Now, if he met you when you were slim and trim and you gained weight, he'll give you hell about it. Venus and Virgo can cause neurotic tendencies. If you aren't the neurotic one, you could attract a partner who is. Venus and Virgo people need ways to relieve stress, since they are easily triggered. Now, one of the best ways to relieve stress is through fitness. So with Venus and Virgo, getting in the gym to relieve that stress is really going to help. And you just might meet a mate while you are working out. Get it? Yeah. Details. Venus and Virgo people need details. They cannot stand vagueness. Now, remember, Pisces is the opposite sign of Virgo, and Pisces is vagueness. So You got to be very clear and you got to be very detailed when you're communicating with a Venus and Virgo individual. You also got to be specific. So with Venus and Virgo individuals, you need to be specific when you are communicating, or else you can expect to be harassed by them. So Venus and Virgo people are pros at harassment. Now, if you're in a relationship with a Venus and Virgo person, prepare to be corrected quite a bit and to be criticized, nagged, and nitpicked. Now, if you have Venus and Virgo, you could attract a mate who is insufferable in terms of their criticism and corrections. Venus and Virgo is about budgeting as well as bookkeeping. They are about keeping those books. And some of y'all that with Venus and Virgo, you might have had a job where you were a bookkeeper. Again, being specific. Venus and Virgo needs you to be specific when it's dealing with money. So if a deal is on the table, they need to know the exact amount down to the penny. And you better give them a receipt. Don't think you're going to get away with not paying a Venus and Virgo person back. They know the exact amount that you borrowed, the exact date that you borrowed the money, as well as what you were wearing when you borrowed it. They may even hound you until you pay them back. They could be real petty about it too, even if it's just $2. You better pay them back. Now, here's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. I saw this comment the other day on a YouTube video, and it was actually dealing with that clip that I just had, that where that boy was combing his hair. That's from the Better Off Dead movie, one of my favorite movies from the 80s. But anyway, he recounts this story about when he was in high school. So he said, when I was in high school, there was this kid that asked me, where's my money? Every time I saw him. 9th through 12th grade, this kid asked me where his money was every time I passed him. I figured he was joking or something. I would just ignore him and keep going. On graduation night, we're standing there in cap and gown, and he asked me again. I finally thought to ask if he was serious. He said I owed him $1. Mind you, $1 from middle school. He was dead serious. I still didn't pay him back. I hope that doesn't come back to haunt me. So that kid that was coming after that dude for that $1 for 4 years, whole high school, probably had Venus and Virgo. Now, those extreme couponers, a lot of them might have Venus and Virgo. So Venus and Virgo, some of y'all could just be downright cheap and will do everything in your power to save a penny. So y'all could be some real penny pinchers. If you're not the penny pinching kind, you could attract a mate who is. Venus and Virgo probably invented the side eye. That's the side eye roll. Now, if a Venus and Virgo person is annoyed with you, you will know it because it will show on their face. Venus and Virgo people are masters in the art of throwing shade. Yes. And that's because they come with that criticism, but they also have a sense of humor as well. So that can be lethal. Venus and Virgo people also love to sip and spill tea. Gossip is their forte. Now, if you have Venus and Virgo and you are not a hypochondriac, you could attract a partner who is. Venus and Virgo will use their health problems to connect with people. A lot of Venus and Virgo people are vegan, vegetarian, on some keto or raw food diet. A lot of them love to wave the gluten-free flag. Now, actually, some Venus and Virgo people do have digestive issues like celiac disease, Crohn's disease, irritable bowel syndrome, and gas. So if you ain't the one lighting up the room, it could be your partner if you have Venus and Virgo. So some of y'all got some horrible gas, can clear out a room like some tear gas. Now, Virgo does rule the intestines now. So Virgos are very conscious of the food that is being processed by their bodies. You know, the food just moving through their intestines and stuff. They can feel all that. Now, that's why they should avoid eating too many processed foods, because the food, those processed foods, they already went through all this processing and now it's going into the body to be processed, and Virgo can feel all of that. For some Venus and Virgo folks, their job is their social life. So they could be so much about work that they got to find friends at work. They find their lover at work. Work is everything. Venus and Virgo person probably invented the office party. Like I said before, Venus and Virgo can be a cheapskate. So they are prone to find ways to have cheap dates. So some examples of cheap dates that could appeal to Venus and Virgo are miniature golf, bowling, or just shooting some pool. And in the process of seeing your man shoot pool, you could get a look at that ass. Yeah. Now, for Venus and Virgo individuals are going to be very familiar with training, whether they have to attend a lot of trainings through their job or whether they're the one training others. So money could be earned as a trainer. Dog trainer, dog groomer. Money could be earned as a martial arts instructor. Money could be earned through crafting. So a lot of Venus and Virgo individuals, especially the women, are into crafting. And a lot of them are mean with the sewing machine. Money could be earned as a seamstress. Money could also be earned as an accountant. Money could be earned by working in the cleaning industry, whether it's a car wash, you're a dishwasher at a restaurant, or you work at a dry cleaners. These are also options if you wanted to go in business. If you have Venus and Virgo, you might want to go the cleaning industry route, have a housekeeping business. Money could also be earned as an auto mechanic or where you are performing some type of repairs, maintenance, what have you. Money could also be earned as a nurse. So, you know, a lot of Venus and Virgo individuals, they giving out that shot right now. So, yeah. Something to think about. Medical professionals in general could have Venus and Virgo, a lot of them. And also, if you have Venus and Virgo and it's afflicted in your chart, like let's say it's squaring Neptune or it's in quincunx with Pluto, what have you, then you could have a negative experience at the doctor's office. Let's get into some Venus and Virgo fashion. So Megan Good is a representative of that Venus and Virgo style, Venus and Virgo fashion. So here she is with her looks. So I love this little pantsuit right here. That's so cute. And then look, she got the overalls on with the flannel, which is very Venus and Virgo. Overalls period is very Venus and Virgo. If you remember that first picture with the woman and she looked like she was like a repair woman, she had on overalls. And you know, Virgo is about that work. So overalls fit well. But as you can see, she has these nice, very tailored looks, very trim, very neat, dapper, I would say. Wiz Khalifa, he has Venus in Virgo. Check out the overalls. Do you see what I'm saying? And I like the way he's rocking them. I actually like the Venus and Virgo style. So again, it's very neat, put together. Even the skater outfit he has on still looks very neat. You know, it looks well put together. I'll say he's a little dapper himself, especially with the suit that he has on in the left. All right, let's get into some celebrities. So I noticed the part a lot of y'all be waiting for. So we're going to run down this list of Venus and Virgo celebs. So Kim Kardashian. She suffers from that hoe versus housewife syndrome. Remember I talked about that with Venus and Virgo? Well, I shouldn't say she suffers from it. I'll say she was able to overcome it because she's been married, 3 times? Or I don't think she married Reggie Bush. Was that his name? Or whatever, but she managed to get with Kanye, but you know, Kanye kind of crazy or whatever. But yeah, So she's an example of the hoe versus housewife. She's played both roles, basically. She has Venus squaring her ascendant in Sagittarius, also squaring that Neptune in Sagittarius. Venus square Neptune can deal with being in a relationship where there's a lot of lies and deception going on, but it can also deal with where your spouse is just crazy as cat shit, which Kanye is. And her ascendant being in Sagittarius, that's her getting all that attention for her butt, but that's also pointing to that, that ethnicity thing she got going on, that multicultural look. And what is she, Armenian or whatever? She has Venus trine Chiron, which is her getting that bag, because Chiron's in Taurus. She has Venus conjoined to Siwa, which is an asteroid that deals with fertility, which is interesting. Then she has Venus sextile Mercury in Scorpio. That aspect can make her somewhat of a sex symbol, and that can point to her getting a lot of media attention, which she has, especially in the past. Next, we have Eminem. Now, Eminem is a Libra. I forgot to mention Kim Kardashian is a Libra, but I'm sure a lot of y'all already know that. Eminem is a Libra, and he was born October 17th. He has Venus square Saturn, which can be very hard for relationships, especially in terms of control and responsibility. Also, that can be challenging in terms of money. He has Venus quincunx Chiron in Aries, and that can manifest as a relationship where there are wounds being inflicted, and it could be physical wounds. He also has Venus sextile Mercury, and that's good for writing. So him writing raps. He has Venus conjoined to Apollo. While that can deal with him being in the music industry, it can also deal with where he's hard-headed when it comes to relationships, or he keeps choosing the wrong type of woman and he's not learning his lesson. Julia Roberts. So she's another one, hoe versus housewife. Remember, she played in Pretty Woman? And that movie was about turning a hoe into a housewife. You see what I mean about this Venus and Virgo? And what's interesting is she's a Scorpio and she has Venus conjoined to Pluto. And that aspect is like that Pretty Woman aspect, where she was transformed from a hoe into a housewife. And if you have Venus conjunct Pluto, you can marry up, you can level up, you can get it into a relationship where you benefit greatly financially. You could get married and do well financially. She also has Venus opposition Chiron that can point to issues with her film career, Venus semi-square Sun, Venus quincunx midheaven. When I see that Venus opposition Chiron, it might be because she might be typecast. I'm trying to think. The one serious role I saw her in was Sleeping with the Enemy, and she didn't even do that great with that. She wasn't that convincing. Kylie Jenner. So Kylie Jenner is a Leo, and she has Venus and Virgo conjoined to her Virgo North Node, trine Neptune, sesame square Uranus, quincunx Saturn, and not much to say about her because I don't know much about her, but she has Venus conjunct Nemesis, so she's blaming somebody for some type of problem. So you could say she could get into a relationship with somebody. Hasn't she been with a rapper, but where she places blame on her partner for wrongdoing, some type of transgression, and it could even turn into a legal situation. Robin Williams. So Robin Williams is a Cancer was a Cancer, and he had Venus and Virgo conjoined to his Virgo South Node. So that could point to some of his mental health issues, especially when you take the opposition with the Moon and Pisces North Node into account. And he did die of a drug. Wait a minute, was it a drug overdose, or did he hang himself? I don't know, but he committed suicide. Y'all let me know in the comments how he ended up ending his life. He had Venus sextile Mars and Uranus. Venus conjoined to Niobe. Now that could deal with some tragic circumstance involving a child. I don't even know if he had children. Y'all let me know. I don't know much about Robin Williams. He definitely wasn't one of my favorite actors. Venus running parallel to Panacea, that could deal with medication that he was on for his mental health issues. And he did always strike me as being a little touch mentally. A lot of those comedic actors are. Mick Jagger. So Mick Jagger is a Leo with Venus and Virgo. Venus square Uranus, that can produce sudden separations, breakups, divorce. It can be very hard to be in a harmonious relationship with that aspect. He also had Venus squaring his ascendant, Venus trine Mars, and Venus conjoined to Sappho. Now, with Mick Jagger, it's been widely known that he goes both ways. He was caught in bed with David Bowie one time. So, yeah, there you go. What's her name? Gwen Stefani. Yes, Gwen Stefani. So she is a Libra. Makes sense, especially with that ponytail. So she is a Libra. She has Venus conjoined to her South Node, opposing the Pisces North Node. She's on my trans investigation list, actually. I'm just putting it out there. And one thing I got to do mention, Venus in Virgo is one of those Venuses that could pertain to the process of becoming another gender than what you started off as. So you're going to see some other examples of people on my trans investigation list. And I know some of y'all are like, oh my God, I can't believe she's saying that about Gwen Stefani. I don't see it. I don't see it. Well, check out some of them videos that she has where her Adam's apple is just bulging out. And check out that waistline. I'm just saying. But that's why I'm going to be creating a Patreon account in where I'm going to be getting more into these, conspiracies and more on the controversial stuff, because I know some of y'all ain't ready for this, but I know some of y'all are. So yeah, stay tuned for that. But yeah, so she has Venus conjoined to the Virgo South Node, opposing the Pisces North Node. There's some secrecy going on with Gwen Stefani. And again, it could deal with her gender. She has Venus sextile moon that can help her pass as a woman. Venus trine Mars, that can too, and ascendant. With that Venus trine Mars, that's good for making money on her own. And also, remember, she started with No Doubt and then became the solo artist. So that could point to that. That could point to where she could attract men and women. And didn't she have a transgender kid? So I'm saying, I think she did. I think she was dressing her son up as a girl and wear like pink nail polish and stuff like that. I'm just saying the apple don't fall too far from the tree. Robert De Niro, he's another one. I'm not saying he's trans, of course, but he did get dressed up as a woman. I think it was a Saturday Night Live skit. And he does have some questionable aspects in his chart that makes me wonder if he's a cross-dresser. I wouldn't be surprised. And then if you take a look at Robert De Niro's most recent ex-wife, looks like a man. Just check out the pictures. I should have included one. So remember what I said, Venus and Virgo can be related to the process that it takes to become one gender, to become the gender that you were not born as. Because again, Virgo is the sign of grooming. It's the sign of having to do a certain routine every day, your daily routine. It's the sign of accoutrements, like putting things together and assembling and all that stuff, having to assemble a look. So Venus deals with partnerships, partners. So with him having Venus and Virgo, he very well could have a transgender partner. I know some of y'all ain't ready for this. That's why I'm making my Patreon account in March. So stay tuned for that, because I know some of y'all are just in disbelief right now and probably like looking at me like I'm crazy. But I'm just saying. So he has Venus square Saturn, Venus trine Mars, Venus conjoined to Minerva, Venus conjunct Sappho. Hello, Sappho is an asteroid that can manifest as same-sex relationships, homosexuality, gay, lesbian tendencies. So you got to wonder with Robert De Niro having that conjunction, what's up with that? And remember, I said Mick Jagger also has this connection as well. Yeah, they were both born in 1943, not too far apart. Pink, she's on my trans investigation list. Yes. So again, Venus in Virgo can be related to the process that is required to transition from one gender to the other, okay? And the grooming part comes into it, but also being integrated into the lifestyle of that gender, having to do everything that other gender does so you can fit in, so you could be integrated, learning how to walk right, learning how to talk right, all of that, that's Virgo. Training, having to undergo certain types of training in order to be able to be integrated into the lifestyle of that gender that you're trying to transition into. So Pink is a Virgo with Venus in Virgo. Quincunx, the moon in Aries. That could be her trying to hide her masculinity. And she doesn't do that great of a job. Look at that jawline and check out her waistline. I should have had a picture in here with that waistline so you can see what I'm talking about. Yeah. And I always wonder why she became so famous, because I really didn't see anything like spectacular about Pink. When she first came on the scene, she did try to use the Black music industry to get put on with that song, There You Go. I did kind of like that song. She had another song, You Make Me Sick, I think. And then she broke out into the mainstream pop world, or, you know, whatever music she's into does. But yeah, she got a lot of aspects involving her Venus, which to me is basically confirming what I feel. So Venus conjunct Sun, Mercury, sextile Mars, conjunct Saturn, sextile Uranus, square Neptune. That could be a transgender aspect, because that could deal with where she's impersonating a woman or trying to fake the funk as a woman, trying to fool people into believing that she's a biological woman. Venus trine Chiron, Venus square ascendant. Ascendant, I believe, I can't remember what sign her ascendant, might be Sagittarius. Not sure though. It also has Venus contraparallel Eros, and Eros is in Aquarius. Aquarius is a sign of the LGBTQ community. Here's another one that's on my trans investigation list, Cara Delevingne. Cara Delevingne, I think she started off as a model, but I think she's an actress too. I think she's a male to female transgender individual, and I'm not the first one who said that. A lot of people feel this way. So she's a Leo, Venus in Virgo, quincunx, moon in Aquarius. Again, Aquarius is the sign of the LGBTQ community. Venus squaring Mars in Gemini, and that could deal with where, you know, that masculinity is still coming through. Even though she's trying to portray herself as a woman biologically, that is still coming through hard. Mars is in Gemini, the sign of androgyny. And that Gemini can also deal with where she's like two people in one. Also, Venus is running parallel to Chiron and Leo. It's conjoined to Hebe. Perhaps that could deal with where I think she has a lesbian girlfriend, like a girlfriend. I think that could deal with getting a surrogate if they want to have children. Venus contraparallel Juno and conjoined to the nebula. Here's another one that's on my trans investigation list, but this one I think is a female to male transgender. Look at that soft face. Look at that. I bet you he can't grow a beard to save his life. And I'm just saying, I felt this way ever since Bruno Mars came on the scene. So I've been like looking at some of these celebrities for years and making my assessment and basically determining, yeah, that's a male to female, that's a female to male. And again, this shouldn't be that shocking to people, because over the past 20 years, they've really been promoting the transgender lifestyle, or you could say the transgender movement or transgender rights. So why wouldn't we see a lot of transgender individuals in the music industry and Hollywood? There's more and more that we see in our regular days and lives. I mean, it's just how it is. So when I call certain celebrities out, some people get offended, but I don't know why. Because I'm like, this shit has been out in the open like this for years now. Get used to it. These people exist. Why wouldn't they exist in Hollywood? Why wouldn't they exist in the music industry? So yeah, for people that get their panties in a bunch over what I'm saying, you need to check yourself, because maybe you got some transphobia shit going on. I'm just saying. Now, Bruno Mars has Venus conjoined to Mars. That's a big reason why they call him Bruno Mars. They letting you know with this name. Come on now. All right, calm down. Venus squaring Chiron in Gemini. So there's that androgyny thing going on. Venus square Uranus. That could deal with, basically, there's some artificial shit going on. But they basically letting you know. Bruno Mars turned into woman to male. Like, they basically letting you know. Here's Sean Penn. Venus in Virgo. Venus conjoined to the North Node. conjunct Pluto, squaring Mars in Gemini, squaring ascendant, trine Saturn. Now, Venus square Mars in Sean Penn's case, he was abusive. I think when he was married to Madonna mentioned that he was abusive towards her physically. He just looks like a piece of shit. And while I do like a couple of movies that he was in, I just really never care for Sean Penn. And I'm just say, so he's a Leo. Did I mention that Bruno Mars is a Libra? You know, Libra is the sign of the opposite sex. See who else we got. Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne is a Libra, and he has Venus square Neptune, semi-square Jupiter, and trine Chiron, and trine Moon in Capricorn. So that Venus square Neptune, that's him being on that lean and stuff and taking all them drugs and all that type of stuff. You can't have serious drug addicts with Venus square Neptune. And that can point to his relationships not being healthy. Just a lot of lies and deception going on, a lot of cheating and all that. Somebody else had Venus square Neptune. Who was that? And I was saying that was in their case. Oh, that's Pink. Pink might have some drug and alcohol issues too. Vin Diesel. Now, Vin Diesel, he started off kind of cute. Like when he was in that movie Boiler Room, I remember I perked up when he came on the scene. I was like, oh, who that? I was like, is he black? Is he white? Is black? Is white? Is black? Is white? So later on, we all found out that he is of mixed race. And he hasn't aged that well at all. Now, he don't have that many challenges with his Venus. He has a nice trine between Venus and his North Node, but he does have Venus opposition Isis, and that could deal with maybe his money is spread out or separated or scattered, or it could deal with somebody that he's been, something dealing with scattering, separation with that Isis. But that could also manifest as sibling rivalry too. But I don't know if he has any siblings. My man Patrick Swayze. Rest in peace. So he died quite a while ago, and he had some type of cancer. So y'all let me know what type. Was it pancreatic cancer? I know he got very, very skinny right before his death. He was a great actor, especially like in action movies. I loved him in Roadhouse. I loved him in Dirty Dancing. I loved him in The Outsiders. What else? I loved him in Red Dawn. Wait a minute, was Patrick Swayze in The Outside? I think he was. He was the older brother, if I'm not mistaken. Y'all let me know if my memory is wrong. But I love that movie, The Outsiders. I got my son on that movie, The Outsiders, and I love that. He mentioned it the other day. He was like, oh, I think he was like, I was watching The Outside, or I must have mentioned it or whatever. But yeah, that's my movie. Who else we got? So his Venus was in good shape too. Oh my God, look at that face. Simon Cowell. He didn't always look that bad. He looks like a total psychopath right there. Like, look at those eyes. He has those Sampaku eyes, which basically meaning the three whites where you can see whites, like the white on the bottom and the whites on the side. That means that can point to a person that's not of good health or good vitality. It can mean that they could end up meeting with an early death. Now, he is kind of up in age, so he could still die within a couple of years or whatever. He was born in 1959. He's a Libra, which kind of makes sense with the whole American Idol judge. Kind of. It makes a lot of sense. And then he has Venus conjoined Pluto. That's him being ultra critical of the talent. And he is. And he's very snarky with it. And sometimes he can be downright nasty with it. So there's that Venus conjunct Pluto. He has Venus squared Jupiter in Sag. So that's also pointing to him being a judge. And sometimes it probably can be too overwhelming for him at times. Venus trine Saturn, Venus sextile Neptune, that's him being part of American Idol in the music industry. Venus quincunx Aries South Node. That's that head he got. Ugh, he's weird looking. And Venus trine Ascendant. Kamala Harris. Chameleon. Because she is a chameleon. You come and go. And she does have Venus opposition Chiron and Pisces. Chameleon. Chameleon. And one of her biggest chameleon stunts. Did you see when she had that video. It was around Christmas time. She was talking about, yeah, when, my family, we would all get around and we would celebrate Kwanzaa. And I'm like, bitch, stop lying. You know you were celebrating that Diwali, which is that Indian holiday. Just stop it. I think Diwali is, or is that the Middle Eastern holiday? Whatever. You know you was celebrating whatever. You was lighting candles for the goddess Shiva and Ganesh and all that stuff. You didn't know nothing about no damn Kwanzaa. Fake as hell. Now she got Venus conjunct Pluto, which can cause her to be a fraud. Also Venus conjunct Uranus. Like I said, opposing Chiron, sneaky ass bitch, lying, cheating, scandalous. Squaring the nodes, trying Jupiter. And we could also throw her husband in there too, because he's scandalous. During one of my live streams, I did mention, it was the election live stream. I think I was talking about her husband and how he could be tied into the whole sex trafficking thing and all that. She got Venus sextile Neptune, Venus semi-square Mercury, Venus square ascendant, Venus parallel Bacchus. That's her being in them eyes wide shut sex parties, I'm sure. And from what I heard, she did sleep her way up to the top. Didn't she? Wasn't she dating that governor Brown, Jerry Brown or whatever? And he was married at the time. Yeah, she's scandalous. She one of them hoe versus housewife Venus and Virgo chicks. Did we skip any hoe versus housewives? Let me see. Not yet. Okay. So remember, we gotta keep track. We already talked about Julia Roberts with the hoe versus housewife, Kim Kardashian. Now we got Kamala Harris, Kamala, and now we got Adam Sandler. He hasn't aged well at all either. I used to think he was kind of cute, but now, oh my God, that's right. I remember looking at his chart one night and I was seeing huge red flags. And I hate to say it, y'all. And again, I know some of y'all don't want to hear this because y'all like this guy in the movies, but I wouldn't trust him around my kids. I'm just saying, and that's all I'm going to say, especially because that Venus is unexpected. And remember what I said, some men with Venus and Virgo are attracted to virgins. Sometimes they take that Virgo to virgin theme literally. That's all I'm going to say. Moving along. Amber Rose, hoe versus housewife. Do y'all get it now? Venus and Virgo, the hoe versus housewife syndrome. She's a perfect example of this. So she's a Libra. She has Venus conjunct Mars. She has Venus quincunx, her Aries ascendant. That's also the hoe part. She has Venus square Jupiter. That's the hoe part. And Uranus and Sag, hoe part. Venus semi-square Pluto. That's where she's trying to transition from a hoe to a housewife, and she's conflicted about it because Pluto's in Libra. Venus square the nodes, south nodes in Sagittarius. That just means she's just naturally wild out, naturally wide open with her shit. And then she's squaring that Gemini north node. That's her getting media attention. And sometimes I'm sure, some of that media attention she gets, she be regretting it. And then she got Venus trying midheaven. And then look who we got. Wiz Khalifa, who was married to her at one point. And they have a child together. I think it's just one child. So he has Venus and Virgo, just like her. And sometimes it does work out like that. Sometimes you will get with somebody that has the same Venus as you. So he has Venus and Virgo conjoined to his sun because he's a Virgo. He has Venus square Saturn and Uranus in Sagittarius. That's him getting with the hoe, turning her into a housewife. Venus square ascendant, Venus opposing the Arabic part of husbandry. So he might own dogs or animals, and maybe he worked on a farm when he was young. Who knows? Joe Rogan. He's another one that's a little suspect, if you ask me. I used to think he was a little cute. Not really the Fear Factor days. A little bit after the Fear Factor, when he really started to get into like the mixed martial arts and all that stuff. And the whole mixed martial arts, that's him having Venus and Virgo all day. So he also, and I think he's the boxing too. I think he is a skilled boxer, but not really good at it or anything. So he's a Leo, makes sense, doesn't it? He has that whole tough guy persona. He has Venus sextile Mars, which can make him quite the sex symbol, but that can also be good for his martial arts. He's really good at holds. And that incorporates the wrestling part with the martial arts, with that Venus sextile Mars. Venus quincunx Saturn in Aries. That could be challenges with his marriage. Like he gets married and then determines, I still want to be a single guy. And to me, he still strikes me as still wanting to maintain a lot of his, I'll say individuality or independence while being married. He has Venus conjunct Pluto. He could be into transgenders. Venus conjunct Juno and Paris Panacea. That was probably when he was taking them steroids. Martha Stewart, she's another one that's weird. Like, what is wrong with her? I mean, I'm almost ready to suspect that she's giving it up to Snoop Dogg and he's loving every minute of it. Like, that is a weird combination, but go figure. She got Venus, semi-square, Mercury, and Cancer. Cancer does deal with rates. So, yeah, maybe he taught her how to love that big black dick. I'm just saying. She got Venus squared Jupiter and Gemini. That could deal with her legal problems. Remember, she had to do some time in jail. And then she has Venus sextile ascendant. Remember, I said if you get too big for your britches or if you allow your ego to get out of control, you will be humbled with that Venus in Virgo. And she has been. But she still made it back. Like, she still bounced back. Nick Cannon. He has Venus in Virgo. And remember, he got humbled recently, losing that what's that show, Wild 'N Out. They took that from him because he wanted to speak out against the Jew or talk about the Jews and stuff, all that stuff. All you got to do is say Jew once, and they're going to take away your contracts, your shows, all types of stuff. So he learned that the hard way. Again, being humbled with that Venus in Virgo. So he has Venus square ascendant, semi-square Pluto, opposition Niobe. What's up with him and one of his kids? Because again, that could deal with a tragic circumstance involving a child, even the death of a child. Toni Braxton, she's been humbled just in terms of her financial affairs, and she's in a humbling relationship with that damn baby. I'm just like, I really question her judgment. She does have Venus conjoined to Jupiter, but her Jupiter's in Leo. So Venus is in the late degrees. She has Venus square moon in Sag, so her judgment is way off. And then she has Venus trine North Node. Gabrielle Union. I'm not a big fan of Gabrielle, but I gotta give it to girlfriend here. I love how she looks right here. She looks absolutely gorgeous. She needs to keep this curly hair like that. Like, she needs to continue that look and that makeup because it makes her look much better. I mean, I'm just really digging this look right here. But that could be part of the whole Venus and Virgo thing. So she got Venus conjunct Pluto, and she is on my trans investigation list too. And I know some of y'all don't want to hear this, but she made the list. And I'm not the only one who has suspected her of possibly being trans, but I'm still kind of, on the fence about her. I still need some more trans investigation work to conduct on Gabrielle Union. But I know some people that swear that's a man. And she did get with Dwayne Wade, and he's questionable. He's very suspect. So again, you got to wonder. She's a 29 that can produce conflicts, internal and external. It can produce conflicts with her being a woman even. She has Venus conjoined to Pluto, which is a trans aspect, like I said, and with other celebrities. But her Pluto's in Libra, so her Venus is in the late degrees of Virgo, conjoined to Pluto in Libra. She got Venus squaring Jupiter, Venus sextile Mercury in Scorpio. Little Uzi Vert. He is a Leo. He's born on the 31st, which explains why he's so weird acting and why he's okay with, doing the gender bending thing. He has Venus trine Uranus, which is another aspect, which is an aspect that makes him okay with doing the gender bending. And then when you throw in the fact that he has Venus trine Neptune, there you go. He's very fluid in terms of, his fashion sense, in terms of his attractions, you could say. He got Venus square Mars, so he's not going to do well in relationships, probably because he wants to be the woman. And then he got Venus semi-square Sun in Leo, Venus semi-square Jupiter in Scorpio. So, yeah, he's a wild one. But I do like the little part he did in, it was A$AP Ferg's New Level song. I love his contribution in that song. I had to give it to him. Matter of fact, you bring her with her. Don't forget yourself too. Yeah. He be like, yeah. I be cracking up. But yeah. And he has that Virgo, that little petite Virgo look. Some Virgos have a very petite look, and he got it. All right, who else? We got Megan Good. Megan Good is a Libra. No, she's not a Libra. She's a Leo with Venus and Virgo, trine Chiron and Taurus, squaring Neptune. So makes me wonder about her husband. Didn't she marry that pastor? Now I know what some of this has to do with. So she got married to the pastor or the guy that's real religious. And I remember people were criticizing her about her being dressing provocatively, even though she was married to some pastor. Oh, excuse me. She also has Venus conjoined to the asteroid Shiva. So maybe when she get mad, she start destroying shit. Or maybe her partner does. Who knows? But she's looking pretty as always. Ashanti. I love Ashanti's look right here. It's so like administrative assistant, accountant type of look. Venus and Virgo, very much. She got Venus trine Chiron, which is very nice. Venus trine ascendant, as well as Venus square moon. She might have some issues with her mother. And just with women in general. And you saw the hate that she was getting from Keisha Cole. Well, I wouldn't exactly call it hate. I would just say she was getting a little jealousy or whatever. Just that tension that was existing. And it was all on Keisha Cole's part. Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson got Venus in Virgo. So he is a Leo. Not surprised because he was an athlete. Venus conjoined to Mars. That's him being into men and women. Venus opposing Amor. Venus parallel Asclepius. That's him coming out saying he was HIV positive. But the more I think about it, this just could have been like a what you call it? He could have just been forced by people up at the top to come out and say that just to make a statement about HIV and stuff, because this fool never lost an ounce of weight, never looked sick a day in his life. Now, some people were speculating because he had all that money, he was able to pay for, special doctors and stuff to give him the cure for it or whatever. Maybe that was the case. Maybe it is because he does have Venus parallel Asclepius. Asclepius is an asteroid that deals with illness, and it could deal with health issues and doctors. Wesley Snipes, looking like a California raisin. He's a Leo, born July 31st, and he has Venus semi-square Sun and Moon in Leo, Venus square Mars, so he has it really bad in relationships, and then Venus sesqui-square Saturn, and Venus conjoined to Psyche. He might try to hold a woman against her will at some point with that Venus conjoined to Psyche. Or he could get with women that have like serious emotional or psychological wounds. He might be attracted to those type of women. Remember I said the damsels in distress? He might be attracted to that type of damsel in distress. But with that Mars square Venus, yeah, it was him that hit Halle Berry upside her head and made her lose her hearing. He got Mars square Venus, can make him abusive. Young Thug. So Young Thug has Venus in Virgo. He's a Leo, and he has Venus conjoined to Mercury. So that could point to, him being a rap artist. And then he has Venus conjunct Terpsichore. I've never really seen him in action. I don't think I know even one of his songs. But that can deal with either he's attracted to strippers or he's gotten with one or he knows how to dance himself, drop it like it's high. Maybe he's done some stripping just to get into the industry. I'm just saying. Viola Davis, she's on my trans investigation list. And just keep in mind what I said about Venus and Virgo. If your cognitive dissonance is starting to get the best of you, because I know some of y'all are like, she crazy. I can't believe she coming for Viola Davis. No, you have to really think outside the box in these situations. And I already said what I needed to say about Venus and Virgo and the trans connection, so I'm not going to beat a dead horse, but she does have some trans aspects in her chart. She got Venus conjunct Pluto, which is a transgender aspect. Venus conjoined to Uranus. She has Venus squaring Jupiter in Gemini. Gemini, again, is that androgyny. And Again, it could deal with where you're two people in one. And then she got Venus opposition Saturn and Chiron in Pisces, secrecy theme, but that can also point to her film career. And then Venus could join the Cupido. She had a late start in the film career, in film too. So maybe it took a while for her to fully transition. That's all I'm saying. And then Chris Tucker. Chris Tucker, he's another one that's a little suspect, not in terms of transgender, but suspect in the way of Adam Sandler suspect. Because guess what? He was on that Epstein list. That's all I'm saying. So Chris Tucker, he's a Virgo. He has Venus conjoined to the sun, trine moon in Capricorn, conjoined to Eros. Remember, I said Venus in Virgo can be attracted to virgins, especially the men. And he was on that Epstein playing list. That's all I'm saying. Move it along. We got Nancy Grace. Nancy Grace, she is she's on the Libra Scorpio cusp. I think she's a Libra though at the late degree, like 29th degree of Libra. And it would make sense because she's dealing with, the law and all this stuff, legal stuff. And isn't she wait a minute, is she an attorney? I don't know what her professional title is, but she's always coming after these criminals, and she does these interrogation type interviews and stuff. Remember, I said Venus and Virgo wants details, and they need you to be specific, and she is a pro at it. So she got Venus semi-square sun. Yeah, so she does have her sun in Libra, 29th degree. Venus sextile moon in Cancer. Venus semi-square Mars in Scorpio. That Venus sextile moon in Cancer can cause her to be an advocate for women. Next, we have Tracy Ellis Ross. She is a Scorpio, and she has Venus conjunct Pluto. Now, I'm not saying she's trans, but that's a trans aspect. But maybe she gets mistaken for a trans. I mean, she does kind of have like no, she really don't have a manly look. But that could just deal with where maybe she will marry for money. Because again, not all people with Venus conjunct Pluto, are trans. That can manifest as other ways. So she could get into a codependent relationship with that Venus conjunct Pluto, or she could do well through marriage, marry a very rich man. But she got money of her own through her own acting career as well as her mother. So that could be getting an inheritance, actually, that Venus conjunct Pluto. And then she got Venus square Jupiter. She got Venus trine ascendant in Taurus. And then she got Venus sextile Mercury in Scorpio. Lisa Ray. That's not really a flattering picture of her. Lisa Ray, she is on the Virgo Libra cusp, but I swear she's a Libra. And she has Venus conjoined to Pluto too. She tried to be that power couple. She's another one that's kind of like turn a hoe into a housewife because she did play in Players Club as Diamond. So she started off as Diamond, and then she tried to become the first lady of Turks and Caicos, but then that turned out messed up because her husband was cheating like it was no tomorrow, and he got caught out there in terms of like embezzlement or fraud or something like that, dealing with his presidency or prime ministership or whatever it's called. So that Venus conjoined to Pluto, that was her trying to marry up, trying to get that bag through marriage, and it blew up in her face. And that Venus conjoined to Pluto can sometimes blow up in your face, as I'm about to show y'all later tonight when I go live. So stay tuned for that. So I'm giving y'all a double dose tonight. So Venus opposition Chiron and Saturn in Pisces, that's her marrying that dude from the islands and then being bamboozled at the same time, being cheated on, being faked, being faked out, being under the illusion that she was really going to be this queen type of person and all that. Venus trine moon in Capricorn, Venus trine north node in Taurus. That Venus opposition Chiron and Saturn in Pisces can also deal with challenges with making it in the film industry, and she's not that great of an actress anyway. So we got one last person, Pete Burns. Pete Burns was a Leo. He's dead now. He had Venus conjoined to Mars, so he had that dual gender thing going on, and I think he was bisexual. He had Venus parallel South Node in Aries, Venus sextile Cancer midheaven. So he was a very troubled individual, very insecure, with that Venus in Virgo, never happy with himself. And this is how he ended up looking prior to his death. So remember I said Venus in Virgo can represent the process of transitioning from one gender to the other. Now, Pete Burns claimed that he wasn't trying to be transgender. He claimed he wasn't trying to turn himself into a woman. I guess he was trying to turn himself into a monster. I don't know. But that would still qualify as the process required, if you get what I'm saying. So y'all let me know what you think. That's basically it. I'm going to just go back through these pictures so y'all can just, continue to chat it up for a minute. And like I said, I am going to be going live tonight. I'm going to need to take a little break after this premiere video, but you will see me live even if it's about midnight East Coast time, unless something comes up. So sometimes things come up and I can't do it. So while I'm saying I'm going to go live, don't hold me to it exactly. I'm going to say I'm about 95% there where I'm going to go live tonight because it's Thursday. I don't have no classes and I got some free time. Yeah, she don't look too flattering in this, but I love that lip gloss. See, I can't wear lip gloss like that because my lips are too dark. But yeah, she can rock that. That's nice. And Lisa Ray always wearing white, that virginal white. Venus and Virgo, virginal white. Isn't that interesting? Tracy Ellis Ross. She got them bugged out. They could be annoying at times, and I'm pretty sure she is real good at giving that side eye with them eyeballs. So I really don't have nothing really bad to say about Tracy Ellis Ross. I mean, she just is who she is. But it must be amazing to have a mother like Diana Ross. And she grew up, singing, like going on stage, her and her sisters, like Diana Ross would bring them to the Las Vegas shows that she would be doing and stuff. And they would, because I learned about this like a couple of weeks ago, and she would have her daughters sing, what song was it? Was it Reach Out and Touch Somebody's Hand? I think it might have been, whatever. But yeah, I really don't have nothing bad. I did like watching that show Girlfriends. I liked her on that, but I never got into Blackish, mainly because of the name. I'm not for all that pandering like to race things and all. I don't know. I never even gave that show a chance. Nancy Grace, again, very Venus and Virgo with the details. Got to be about the details. Got to be specific. And I ain't gonna lie, she's very entertaining to watch sometimes. And I love the jacket she has on. See what I mean about that Venus and Virgo style? Not everybody with Venus and Virgo is dapper, but a lot of them can be. But yeah, I love that Venus and Virgo look right there. She got on with that jacket. But he's a Venus and Virgo that don't have really good taste. So let me go back and look at his chart and see what could be messing him up. Well, he has Venus conjoined to his sun, so I don't know. Maybe it's just not a good look. I don't like that flower print suit. And Chris Tucker, he always kind of struck me as being kind of weird. He is a 31, so there you go. That's him being weird. And 31s can be suspect of, playing for both sides of the, playing for both teams, I guess you would say. And but 31s, they can also be perverts. So I know some of y'all don't want to hear this, but he's not on my trans investigation list, but he's on my suspect pedo list. All right, moving along. Like I already said, just go and Google Viola Davis as a child, and then maybe you will, start to understand where I'm coming from. Because sometimes you got to go back to when these people were children to really see how shit was playing out in terms of how they were looking. So again, she entered the film industry kind of late in life. I think she was already in her 30s, like knocking on 40. So again, maybe it took her extra hormones to fully transition where she could really, come across as looking female. Now, again, this is all speculation on my part. I could be totally wrong about some of these people. But like I said before, I've been blessed with the gift of spiritual discernment. And I can see some things that a lot of people can't. And there's other people out there that can too. So there's a bunch of videos out there that deals with this topic. some of these videos are outlandish. Some of the whole channels are outlandish where they're calling everybody, you know, trans and stuff. And I don't believe that. There's a lot that they say are trans, and I'm like, nah, I'm not buying it. But then there's some where it's like you have to really wonder. Young Thug, again, I don't think I ever heard any of his music. I hate when these dudes be wearing these face tattoos like that. That's that Pluto and Scorpio generation all day. That was when all these demons came from the fourth dimension and started to wreak havoc upon this earth. And we're still enduring this issue with these demonic influences infecting this planet. So Pluto and Scorpio brought it out. And let me see. Does Young Thug? I think his Pluto is in Scorpio. He was born in 91. So that's that. Oh my God. But anyway, Wesley Snipes, like I said in my last video, well, not my last, but I think maybe my second to last, he doesn't look well. He looks like he's sick. And with him having Venus and Virgo conjoined to Pluto, he probably has some type of infectious disease, or maybe it's cancer or something. Something not good is creeping up on him. He just does not look well. He does not look healthy. All right, let's see. Magic Johnson. He's another one. He's on the suspect list in terms of his sexuality. There's this old footage of him being carried by this white guy. White guy is carrying Magic Johnson in his arms. And this is when Magic Johnson, I think this was like his first couple of years in the NBA. It was very weird, very weird. But it's been said that Magic Johnson used to have a lot of parties. And I just remembered this. What about his son? So Magic Johnson has his son. What's his name? I forget what Magic Johnson's son's name, but Magic Johnson's son is transgender. So that fits that Venus and Virgo theme, even though, you know, Venus doesn't deal with children. Magic Johnson, I don't have his birth time. So Magic Johnson's Venus could be associated with his fifth house. It could be ruling his fifth house. It could be in his fifth house, and the fifth house deals with children. Y'all starting to see what I mean about that Venus and Virgo? There go Ashanti. Ashanti did have the girl next door type of vibe, and that can be very Venus and Virgo, have that touch of innocence with them, which is very Venus and Virgo, even though we know that Ashanti is far, far, far from innocent. Megan Good, I really don't have nothing bad to say about her, but them eyebrows are a little too dark, honey. Like, you need to, like, just chill with the eyebrow pencil. It's a bit too severe looking. Now, what does she have in her chart that could point to her being a little bit too... Well, the Venus square Neptune can cause her to be a little over the top with makeup at times. So there you go. I also was going to include Joan Jett. She was a 70s rocker. She sang the song, I Love Rock and Roll. She's another one on my trans investigation list. I was also going to include Amy Poehler, the comedian. She's another one that could be transgender, if you ask me too. Who are the other ones that I left out? Oh, remember I talked about Venus and Virgo people could be, like, especially the men could be drawn to virgins or virginal type people. Kevin Spacey has Venus and Virgo. I just didn't include him in this video. But yeah, he got caught out there trying to make the moves on a young boy, some assistant of his or some shit like that. And I think he was underage. When I say young boy, I think he was like 17, maybe just turned 18 or something. Y'all let me know in the comments. And then, yeah, but yeah, like I said, I like that. Now, do you look under? I'm seeing a little Adam's apple. I don't know if y'all can notice. Y'all notice that? And look like she tried to put a little bronzer on there to kind of blend it in. But that looks like an Adam's apple right there. Maybe I'm just seeing things, but that's what it looked like. Moving along. Toni Braxton is a little touched in the head. You could tell. And again, her judgment is way off. That Venus conjoined to Jupiter and Leo, that points to her spending more money than what she made. I think, didn't she have to file for bankruptcy? And that Venus square moon in Sag can take away from the financial prudence that Venus and Virgo produces. So remember, I was like, Venus and Virgo can be quite the cheapskate, the extreme couponer. Well, because she has Jupiter in the mix, and also because Venus is squaring her moon in Sag, that takes away from the financial prudence, the budgeting, that Venus and Virgo provides. This nigga, I hate that damn turban. So he's one of those Venus and Virgos that don't have that good fashion sense. And it makes sense because he has Venus squaring his ascendant and being in semi-square with Pluto. So he's just a mess with that turban on his head, looking like his grandma. Probably is his grandma's turban. He raided her closet. And then these two, just a weird match. Even in terms of TV, it's just like, and again, she just looks like she got some, like, she finally know what it feels like to be with a black man. That's what it seemed like to me. Got her nose wide open. Joe Rogan, I feel like he's done sold out. He does have Venus conjunct Pluto, so he could compromise his integrity for the sake of money. And I used to watch his podcast a lot, and now I'm getting turned off because now it seems like he's self-censoring himself. Now he's being very careful what he says. Now he's always walking on eggshells. So ever since he got that deal with Spotify, I think it's Spotify, he's changed. He's gone through a transformation, which is very much Venus conjunct Pluto. So I don't like it. I'm like, Joe Rogan, I used to really like listening to his podcast, but now I'm turned off. We already talked about Wiz Khalifa. Wiz kind of reminds me of one of my male clients, the way he looks. And next time I talk to my male client, I'm going to mention that. I'm like, yo, I know somebody has told you look like Wiz Khalifa. They both skinny like that. They got that same type of nose, facial structure. Wiz ain't bad looking, and neither is my male client. But my male client is taken just in case y'all ladies starting to get thirsty and stuff like that. But he's a Sagittarius. He has the same birthday as me, and I just want to give him a little shout out. And he's looking to become one of my proteges in astrology. So he's going to be taking my classes soon. So I'm going to be looking forward to that. But this is about Wiz Khalifa. I was just mentioning my client because Wiz reminds me of my client just in terms of looks. And my client used to have braids. Well, was it braids or twists? And I got to ask him what his hairstyle is looking like now. And here's this chick. Now, while Amber Rose, she's attractive, she's not a beauty queen, and I think she realizes that, which is why she plays up more of her sexuality or whatever. And I saw this one whack ass low budget B movie, and it was free on YouTube. And she had a little bit role in it. I forget what it was called, but like she doesn't have an acting bone in her body. It was horrible. Like she couldn't even do a cameo role. It was absolutely trash. And then didn't she get a tattoo on her forehead of her son's name or something? Very weird. Very weird. Strange. But yeah, let me wrap things up. Oh my God, do y'all see this guy? He is absolutely terrifying. And look at those dentures. Probably from eating children, had to get new teeth. Some of these people are wicked as hell, y'all. Y'all gotta wake up. And I think Simon Cowell might be one of them. Patrick really looks good right here. He just had that sex symbol quality, and I don't know, he seemed like a really good guy too. I'm trying to think what he looks like. He looks like a wrinkled thumb. Like if you know how you have your hand in water for too long, you've been washing the dishes, and then you pull it up and you look at your hand and you look at your thumb and it's all wrinkled. That's what he looks like without the fingernail or the thumbnail. Lil Wayne, there go all them tattoos on the face. Oh my God, it's demonic. It makes them look so demonic, but hey, they were born during that demonic era. So there it is right there. And these tattoos don't even make sense. Look at that whack ass peace symbol. I'm trying to he got the African continent. Look like that's a dick in between his eyebrows. Looks like, I guess that says mercy or something. And then he has I am Musto. And then it looks like he got a TNT dynamite detonator type of, what the hell is going on? I almost feel sorry for this dude. Like what? Lord, and just cut those dreads, man. Has he cut the dreads yet? Y'all let me know. But he reminds me, I'm trying to think of some type of, it's a type of Muppet that he reminds me of. A little bit of Grover. Remember Grover from Sesame Street? But not exactly Grover. It's somebody else that was on Sesame Street and had a round head. It might have been the dude that Grover used to be serving at that diner. Now this kind goes way back, so people who are around my age or a little bit younger, y'all remember those little skits on Sesame Street where Grover would be the server or he'd be the waiter, and then it'd be the blue guy with the red nose and he'd be waiting for his food, and then Grover would bring out some bullshit, and then guy would be getting all frustrated. That's what Lil Wayne reminds me of. But yeah, I'm gonna end this now. And again, I know some of y'all didn't like how this went, how this go, how I got into the whole T list and all that stuff. But hey, it is what it is. And again, for those that get offended when I mention stuff like this, you might need to check your own beliefs and values because maybe you have a little phobia thing going on with you, which makes you uncomfortable when somebody brings up topics like this. That's all I'm saying. So again, let me know what you think. Stay tuned for my live stream. If all goes well, I will be going live tonight. And if you would like a reading, you could go to my website at rahbinah.com. I'm going to type it into the chat and stay tuned for more videos.